I think we are live. Hello. I'm waiting to see if one or two of you are popping in and saying hi. Let me quickly check here. Right. Okay. I was just making sure that I'm actually live. I am. Anyway, you guys will join us. Oh, I see there's a few people here. Hey, Tony. Hey, Horacio. I hope I pronounce your name well. And there's my friend Dora that came and said hi earlier. So, guys, I'm going to start anyway. There's a three of you showing up right now. More welcome. If you don't know me, I'm Jazz. I'm a married solo traveler, and this conversation today excites me. I really I like the person that is our guest today. I've been following her for a long time, and if you haven't noticed, I'm a little bit, just a little bit plus size, and I'm a traveler. So she's a weight loss coach. She lost a tons of weight. I'd rather let her tell you about that. She's also a traveler, been to over 20 cruises. Come on, haven't been to one. I'm planning to go to one. Anyway, welcome to Tea with Jase. So my tea today, I thought I will take detox, not only because I'm battling some allergy, and also as we're talking about weight loss, weight loss also means detoxing all the toxin in the body. All right, I stop talking and I bring our amazing guest, Angela, who is going, guys, we're gonna have fun. Please join, we're gonna have fun. So let me bring Angela on the screen. Hello.
Hey, hi,
Hi.
Jazz.
Hi.
Hello, hi.
Thank you so much for agreeing to come and have a chat with me today on Sunday. And it's such a pleasure. I've been following you for a long time and I really like you. So I'm so pleased that you're here with us. And so, Angela, can you please introduce yourself to our audience? Tell us who you
Yeah.
are, your channel, and yeah.
Oh, thank you. Well, let me just start off by saying thank you so much for inviting me. I've been following you too, and you are such an inspiration. You truly are. So
Wow.
thank you so much for inviting me. So my name's Angela, and I love traveling, love travel. Traveling the world is one of my life goals, and so far I have been truly blessed to have been able to visit countless countries. I tried to write a list today of all the countries that I've visited. I mean, I've just gone off the page. I've done so many: the Caribbean, Europe, the Far East, um, yeah, Norway, loads and loads of places.
Wow.
And I am not, and I stress, I am not a rich woman. But the only way I've been able to do that is by cruising. I absolutely love cruising, and I had my first cruise. It must have been about 25 years ago. We
Wow.
flew out to to Miami, and then we did a cruise around the Caribbean. Well, it was around the Bahamas, specifically the Bahamas, and I absolutely got absolutely hooked. And ever since, I've been cruising, and where I can, I'll do one at least one or two cruises a year. Love it.
Wow. What brought you into cruising? What did attract you into cruising?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So, originally, I was very much a land holiday person. Would book, my annual week's holiday, somewhere. And a family member lives in Miami, and they live not far from the port. And they have a friend who works for the cruise companies and would say, "Take a cruise. You should take a cruise because it's so affordable. It's you're gonna love it." So, so sort of. So, so on a visit to see my sister in Miami, she booked a cruise for us. It was um, her and her daughter, me and my son, and my mom, and that was it. Absolutely, absolutely hooked on it. I love the fact that in one holiday. you could visit so many different places without having to do lots of traveling in between all the airports, and you could get off, explore the area, and come back. Your room's made, your dinner's cooked, the washing up's done,
Wow,
and you could just
that
sit
sounds
back,
like
relax.
paradise.
It was, and you could sit back and relax and be waited on. And I was like, this is what I want for my holidays. And after that, I think I've done probably about 21, 22 cruises. And
Wow.
in fact, this very morning, I was talking to my friend, and we're planning the next cruise later this year.
That's
Yeah.
so cool. Where are you going?
So we're looking to go to the back. Well, I've been to the Canaries once before, and she's never done it. So she wants to go. So I was like, I'm up for that. So we're looking to go to the Canaries. It will be Tenerife, Madeira in Portugal, Arrecife in Lanzarote. So it will be a seven night cruise, and it's the cruise includes your flights there and back.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
7 days cruising to all of those different locations. It includes all your meals, buffet and a la carte, your fine dining, all your entertainment, everything you could want. The only thing you pay extra for is if you want alcohol or if you want to do speciality dining. And
Yeah,
that is coming in at £569 per person.
that's really good. That's a good price when you have
It
all your
is
meals
excellent.
included, entertainment, and some drinks as well. Do you have some drinks included as
You get
well?
like soft drinks,
Soft
but
drinks,
not
yeah.
alcoholic
No
drinks. Yeah,
alcohol. Yeah,
and
yeah.
your flight
And your
there,
flight. Oh, wow.
and your
Yes.
transfers. Yeah, so and
It's a
that's
burden.
why I love cruising. Um, I can tell you, I was working this out for today. My cheapest cruise, my best cruise, and for 1 week, with all of that included, was £399.
For how long? How long was the
That was for a
cruise?
week.
A week,
That
a
was a
week.
week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That didn't include the flights. That was from Southampton though.
Yeah.
But 399. And then I also did with flights. I flew to Dubai, and that included the flight on Emirates
Oh, wow. The
um,
one of the best
to
airlines,
Dubai. Yeah, and
Emirates.
that was
Yeah.
just just over £700.
Okay. Angela, I want to ask you a question because today we're talking about traveling plus size, you know, and
Yeah,
you know that cruises, you have a buffet, right? With a lot of yummy things. I haven't been in a cruise. I'm planning to do my first cruise this year in June for my birthday. Uh, but I've been to those all inclusive. I've been to a whole inclusive place, and you have to have self control to not indulge into all the good food that is presented to you. And you can you tell us a little bit because you have lost over 100 pounds, over 150 pounds, even 160, is it?
yeah. 100, well, as of today, it's £162.5.
Another
So
person.
yeah,
Wow,
so
that's
that
amazing.
works out to be 11. Thank you, 11 stone £5 or 73.4 kg. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me
So
quickly
so
say hi to our friends here. Hey, Jordan. Jordan always support my life. Thank you, friend. I'm happy to see you here. And we have Tiffany is a great, great friend of mine. And Horatio, oh, already have a question. Let's take that question. Are you okay with that? Because it's about
of
cruises. Then we
course,
go about,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So Horatio says, Angela, have you ever been on a cruise where the seas has been rough? And if so, how have it affected you?
Oh, that is such a good question. Thank you, Horatio. Yes, I've been on a cruise where the sea was rough. Rough isn't even the word. And do you know what? Of all the cruises I've been on, I've been on somewhere it's just a little bit rocky, a little bit. nothing too much to worry about. You walk in and you're sort of like a little bit unsteady. And I've done that maybe once or twice. All the other cruises, I've been really blessed, and it's been really smooth sailing to the point where you don't even realise that you're moving. It's been so smooth. But I was coming back from, we'd gone to the Eastern Med. So had gone down, come out of Southampton, we'd gone down to La Coruna in Spain, down to Vigo, and then into Portugal, and then into Gibraltar. And it was beautiful all the way down. But on the way back, oh my days, it was like there was a demon in the sea. It was so rough. It was so bad. This is how bad it is. And of all the cruises I've done, I've never ever experienced this. It was so rough. The captain made an announcement and he told all passengers and all non essential crew to go back to their cabin and stay there for
Wow.
safety. It was so rough. And the next day, he made the announcement and said that the ship was listing. It was listing to one side, so everybody had to go back for safety. And we were in a rough storm, but it was scary. And I was just like, right, I'm just going to go to sleep. I'm just going to get into bed and I'm going to go to sleep and sleep it off. And then the next morning, it was fine, and but then we knew we were near home. So I think that was not far from home, where we're in the North Sea, where the sea was a little bit rougher. But and that was just one night. So all the nights I've done on cruises, that's the only time I've experienced it. But the sea can be unpredictable, and I've heard of people having really rough seas in the Caribbean and yeah, different places. So it's one of those things. But they've always got plenty of seasickness travel tablets on hand,
Wow.
just for me.
Horacio, are you trying to keep me from going to my first cruise? Are
No,
you
no,
just
no,
trying to
no,
scare
no,
me?
no.
No, I'm
I listen.
joking.
I've done. It's an experience there. It is an experience, but yeah, it's a wonderful experience. But you were saying about the buffet that let me tell you, it's food galore.
Yeah,
It is, goodness me, you
yeah.
know. But usually, for me personally, by about day 4 or 5, I just get tired of eating. There's just so much food, and it's 24/7. And
Wow.
some
Oh,
cruises,
it's an open bar 24/7?
yeah, so different restaurants, because there'll be multiple restaurants on the cruise ships, multiple restaurants. So you can, the last cruise I did, it closes from like about 9 o'clock, so they can refresh everything, and then it opens up again at like 11 or midnight, and then it carries on until early morning. Then they close and then open up for breakfast. So it's literally, but if you wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and you fancy a snack, you can just ring room service and they'll bring you something to eat. They've got like a menu. Um, there's multiple buffets on the ship that you can go to. And then usually there's a la carte restaurants, the fine dining restaurants are all included. They often have like a black tie night and ball gowns. The captain's table where you can meet the captain and the crew and all, you dress up in all your finery and everything. And yeah, it's a wonderful experience.
Yeah, I'd love to try that, and I've heard that you have to be careful to the cruise that you choose because some cruise may be like attires, like you have to wear beautiful long dresses in the evening, and some can be relaxed, with your jean basket, which would be like my kind of cruise,
Yeah. So
but or a mix of
on
both.
most cruises, I've only ever done one cruise, and that was with MSC. And that cruise didn't have a formal night. Didn't have a formal night. But every other cruise that I've been on, they always have a formal night. But it's totally optional.
Okay.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes I will dress up to the nines and I'll go, and other times I think, No, I don't fancy that. So I'll just be in my shorts and t-shirt, and I'll just go upstairs to, like, the buffet, and I'll just sit and have my dinner and sit outside. It's, with the cruise, it's your holiday, so you do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you don't have to do it if you don't want to, but usually there is a formal night or two, one or two.
Excellent. So we are both travelers, so of course we can't talk about traveling for the entire hour, but we need to talk about traveling as a plus size. And you are a travel coach as well. I don't know if we spoke about it. And you've lost an amazing 160 pounds. This is just great. Oh my goodness. You know that, I mean, I'm on that weight loss journey and I've been on it for God knows. Anyway, how did you lose so much weight, and what was your biggest struggle, when it comes to weight loss and travel and going on cruises?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Jazz. So, as you say, I've lost just over 160 pounds. It's not been a quick journey, it's been a steady journey, and it's taken me 6 years and 3 months to lose this weight. And my average weight loss has been less than half a pound a week. So it's not been quick at all. But I've been really happy about that, because the one thing that it's taught me is that I have to build habits for life, because that's the only way I'm going to lose the weight and keep it off. And as you say, I'm a weight loss coach as well. And one of the things that I've seen in my coaching career is people losing weight really quickly,
Yeah.
and then a year later, all of that weight has gone back on and more. And for me, the one thing that I've learned is it's all about, you can, doesn't matter what the plan, what the program is. It could be Weight Watchers, Slimming World, counting calories, could be anything. If you're not putting in place healthy habits, then the weight is going to come back on. So that's how I've lost my weight. I started off with Weight Watchers, then intermittent fasting and mindful eating, and now I'm doing using Manjaro because I'm type 2 diabetic. So people have always said to me, when you go on cruises, you're going to lose weight. You're going to gain weight. And to be honest, when I started cruising 20, 25 years ago, that was exactly it. I'd go on a cruise, I
Okay.
would indulge in absolutely everything. We'd be like eating 24/7. We'd leave the buffet, go for a walk, then go for, the 24-hour pizza, have a few drinks, have the cocktails, then get ready, go to the a la carte restaurant, and then after that we'd go and see a show, and then after that we was back up in the buffet. We just never stopped eating. And
Yes, food
I would
drunkenness.
come back, yeah, exactly. And I would come back 10, 11 pounds heavier. And I would be
Oh
like,
well,
I,
yeah.
I don't enjoy feeling like this. And it just took the edge off the holiday, because I was just eating so much. Um, but as I say, that was 20, 25 years ago. But um, since I started my weight loss journey six years ago, I can now go on a cruise and lose weight. And I have done every cruise, every holiday that I've been on since I've been on my weight loss journey. I've lost weight.
So what
And
has changed? And oh, sorry, Angela, I cut you off. Did you want to say something? Maybe. Did you want to?
yeah, I was going to say that, but it's all about the mindset.
Yeah.
It's, knowing that I could be on a cruise, whether as a solo traveler, and I've done half of those 20 cruises on my own. I could be on the cruise, enjoy my holiday, because I had to realize actually this is about the whole experience of visiting new places,
Yeah.
of traveling, meeting new people, and indulging in that whole experience. It's not just about eating 24/7.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. I want to say hi to Cave Flowers. Hey girl. Or I guess I said girl. I don't know, but flowers. I don't know why I'm saying girls. All right. So the question I wanted to ask you, as a weight loss coach, I've been overweight for almost my entire adult life. And what I've realized is that diet do not work. And
Absolutely.
it's pointless to say you would follow this of this diet is better than this and this. Whatever the diet that you follow, and what you said is, unless you have done the work, a mindset work shift, and really see it as a lifetime change, you're not going to be able to lose weight. And I love that you lost weight so um slowly but steadily, because you've been 6 years, you lost all that weight in 6 years, and you've been maintaining as well, right, for all that long. I've done the yo-yo diet, up and down, you those fat diet, you lose 20 kilos in 3 months, and then you put 30 back. So what would you say about, when it comes to weight loss, that diet mentality? What can you tell us about, the
So
best
what I
way?
would I would say exactly what you've just said. I would absolutely endorse that. Is that diets don't work. Um, it is all about the mindset. There's that old saying: if you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're absolutely right. And it's
Absolutely.
yeah, and it's about learning healthy habits and putting healthy habits in place. Whatever plan, if people choose to do plans or programs, I'm kind of like, great, go with what works for you. But you have to work on that mindset. And one of the things that when I was traveling, see, when I started my cruising journey to my cruising journey now, one of the mindset shifts that I had was one, I don't have to eat everything. Yeah, I can look and enjoy food, and look at the presentation and the smells and look at all of that. Secondly, I can have a meal and just have a small bite and enjoy the flavors and eat it really slowly and eat it mindfully. Yeah, I know what alcohol taste is like. I don't need to drink it every day,
Yeah.
it's all about getting that balance. But the other thing, when I started my solo cruise, my very first solo cruise was to Israel. That was just absolutely incredible. And one of the things that I experienced was, after the novelty of being on the ship and floating around kicked in, on the evenings, I got a little bit bored and I got a little bit lonely. And the temptation was to go to the buffet, find a quiet corner and sit and eat.
Yeah, but we
That was
use
the
food
temptation.
as, yeah. Did you
Because
travel solo, Angela? Was it a solo trip? Hey Maya, hey
to
Dr. Maya.
Israel,
Yeah.
yeah, to
Oh,
Israel, to Israel it was, yeah. That was solo. Um, um, so what I had to do after the first, when I sort of caught myself, is like, okay, don't feel that loneliness with food.
yeah.
And it was so easy to do that, just to find a little quiet corner, whenever I feel lonely or bored, and go and I'd be like, oh, I'm just going to go for a cup of tea. And there'd be a cup of tea with sandwich or cake or something like that.
Yeah.
So easy to do. But I thought, the whole point of me being a solo traveler is to meet new people and to enjoy those experiences. So I was like, no, I'm not going to go and sit on my own. I'm going to go and sit with somebody else who is on their own, or with a couple that's not talking, because there's a lot of, actually find a lot of couples on cruises, and they just sit there and they don't talk to each other, which I find really strange. Yeah. And I would just go and say, and I'd say, well, can I sit with you? And they'd be, oh, yeah, yeah, come and sit with us. And then you just get chatting and you'd make friends. And, I've made some wonderful, wonderful friends on cruises that I still keep in touch with today. And that for me was all part of that solo traveling experience. Um, so, and once I realised actually I don't need to eat all the food, and checking my mindset and saying, do you know what? I'm on this journey for life and I don't want to come back from my cruise feeling bloated and heavy and full of regret that I've eaten, five puddings every day and I've eaten all the pizzas and all the fried food. I don't want that experience. I
Yeah.
want to go and have a meal that I wouldn't normally have, yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to try like the venison or the duck, or I want to try those meals, um, and just eat it really mindfully and steadily.
Yeah.
And that's how I approach my cruises now. And I could go on a cruise, and I mean I've done that, and since I've been on my journey, I've probably come back with a staying the same, but definitely not gaining like the £10 that I used to gain. Because it for me, it's my weight loss journey. It's not just for the holiday or for the occasion or in the run up to Christmas. It's for life. So
It's a
it doesn't matter
lifestyle.
what the occasion is. I'm
Yeah.
still doing what I do every day. I'm still moving. I'm still drinking my water. I'm still managing my portions. I'm still doing all of those things, and yeah, and really enjoying that solo experience.
Yeah, that takes discipline. As a collective, I feel that we have so much trauma around food, that scarcity mentality. I haven't been on cruises, but what you're explaining is, I have like a lounge, business lounge when I travel. It's the same experience. You have champagne that's flowing, you have the food, the cakes, and everything. And I remember at the beginning, it's like that was the first time in my life I'm drinking champagne, and I end up going in the plane a little bit, tipsy. So it takes a lot of discipline to know that it's about your health as well, right?
Absolutely.
And everything is about moderation. Anyway, there's so many questions. Let me quickly uh see. There's a Oh, Karen, hi. It's a miss. Earlier I was saying, I said she, and she might not be, and she's a she. Hey, Dr. Maya, so good to see you too, girl. I'm gonna have Dr. Maya on my channel soon. She traveled all over in Africa, so please be glued to my channel. By the way, if you're not subscribed and you're here, subscribe and do like the live, please. And we have a question here from Karen, who says, as a cruise lover, how have you coped with munchies late in the
Yeah.
evening?
Yeah. Hi, Karen. Hi, Karen. Thank you so much for joining us today. Yeah, so Karen, it was just as I was saying, early in the early days, I used to be bored or feel a bit lonely, and therefore I would go and eat. But and usually, like it's when the shows are on, and you know that it's quiet in the restaurant. I used to go and eat because I
Yeah,
knew nobody would
nobody's
be there to
around.
see me. But how I cope with them now is I would go and meet people, go and sit with people, go and chat with people, get involved in the activities. On the last cruise I did it was what do you call it? The silent disco. I did, oh my days, I had a blast. That's
The
where
silent disco.
you've got your headphones on and
Oh, I
you
know that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. And by the time I've gotten involved in activities, see, if I go and sit in the library and read, then I'm like, my hands are going, I want food. But it's just getting involved in activities, going and talking to somebody, seeing what is on, going for a walk around the ship, just doing something. Because for me, I don't know about you, Colin, but I would eat because of the boredom and the loneliness. Usually in the evening, not in the day, because there's so much things to do in the day. But in the evenings, people are like with their families and their friends. And being a solo traveller, I'd be like, oh, I'm on my own. So it's easy to find that little corner and to eat. But I'd be like, no, not doing that. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna meet people. I'm gonna just go and have fun. So yeah, that's how I cope with it now. Yeah, again,
Angela,
mindset shift.
yeah, Angela, I love your answer because, you will tend to eat and overeat alone. You wouldn't dare going on that plate and putting cakes and, if there's people on the front of you. And I love that going, finding people, be in community, go be with other people and have those activities, participate in those activities. I love that. And I'm going to take
Yeah.
that with me when I go on my cruise. That's a great, great,
On
great tip.
when I went to the Canaries, I met a lady. She was a solo traveller, and the other thing on a lot, not all, but on a lot of cruises, is they have events for solo travellers. So usually early in the morning or early in the evening, they have a meeting point for all the solo travellers. So you can, have coffee, get to know each other, and do events together, have dinner together, that sort of thing. So if you don't want to be part of that, you don't have to. But if you want the company, there's company there. And I met this, bumped into this lady, and she was a solo traveller, and she was like one of life's organisers. She would organise everybody, and she'd go to the restaurant, and she'd come with like um, a laminated card, and she'd put on the table for solo travellers only. So if you're walking through the restaurant and you saw that, you think, oh, I'm a solo traveller, I'll go and sit on that table. And then by the end of the cruise, I think I've met about 15
Wow.
solo travellers. And, then she organised meetups and parties, and then we'd say what deals we came across. So you went up meeting some really, really good friends. Yeah,
That's
loved it.
amazing. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay, we have a few questions. So let me go. We have Tiffany here. Has your emotion and spiritual well being changed as a result of your weight loss journey? That's a great question.
That is such a fantastic question.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. So, when I sort of go into myself and I think about why I became overweight, this is me with my coach hat on now. Okay, when I sort of self reflect, I realised that I was overeating because of my emotions, and I was emotionally eating because I had loads going on in my life at the time, and I suffer with a number of chronic health conditions, and I was desperately ill, seriously ill, and I was eating to fill that void. And usually, in my experience as a coach, when people are eating to excess, it's usually to fill some kind of void. And
Yeah.
that's not everybody, because there could be medical reasons for that. But a lot of people that I work with, there is an emotional void that they need to fill, and they fill that with food.
Yeah.
And that was exactly my case. So when I started to deal with my health and my emotional issues, um, I then realised actually the food was just the soother, and I had to look much deeper, like on that emotional and spiritual level. And once I started to do that, then everything changed for me. The food wasn't the crutch. The food wasn't going to solve my problems. The food wasn't going to heal me. In fact, the food was making me worse. And I went on a journey, and I had to learn about the foods that my body needed to heal. And once I started healing my body through food, we hear that term, food is medicine.
Yeah.
Then, as my body started to heal, I was able to let go of all that emotion that was tying me down. And as I started to do that, the weight started to release from my body. Weight loss is much deeper than we think. And we think it's about food, and it's probably only about 20% food.
Yeah.
80% is emotional, spiritual, physical stuff that's going on with us.
Completely. Completely. Yeah, I have a follow-up question, but I'll come back to that later. We have more questions here from Dr. Maya. Cruises are hard. There's so much access to food. My family would eat multiple entries
Yeah,
and eat all throughout the day.
yeah,
I know
yeah,
it is. My Dr. Maya, I'm already like worried about going on a cruise but I like the tips that you just given. So good point, Angela, about walking on the ship. Some of the cruises have gyms
yeah,
that you can access to. They have equipment and weight. Oh wow, that's great.
yeah,
Thank you. So do they
yeah.
have like those, like every morning, maybe a Zumba class or a dance class or a group? I've seen that on shows on television.
Yeah.
Did you have that?
Yeah, yeah, different cruises do different things, but yeah, you're right. There's all the gyms. I always take my gym stuff, and I'm in the gym, in the mornings, working out, looking out as we're sailing by or we're docked in somewhere beautiful. Then you've got all your pools. They've got running tracks.
Right.
They
Oh
are
wow.
high tech.
Okay.
Yeah, high tech latest. They do classes. They've got spas, the jacuzzi, you name it. It's
Oh wow.
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I did the Jam Rock Reggae cruise, which oh my day, so close to my heart. I've done that twice, sailing from Miami to Jamaica, and they brought in specialists. Um, like yoga, and these were all black women, yoga specialists and yoga trainers and teachers and vegan specialists who would come in and run classes. And even some of the musical celebrities would join us on all of those. It was just absolutely
Ah.
incredible, incredible. So yeah, so there is yeah, I hear what you're saying about the food, but the food is only ever going to be major if that's what you want it to be. If you want it to be about the workouts, about meeting people, about the experiences, about going to different countries and different locations, that's what it's going to be all about. So, it's just looking at the different perspective. The other thing I just wanted to say quickly about, again, being a solo traveller and being on cruises is I would always, when we dock in different countries or different locations, I would always take advantage of going off ship and exploring the area. And you and I have talked about this, and you're a different solo traveller than me. You're very confident, and you'll rock up in a city with your backpack,
I'm
and you'll go
crazy.
and tour
I'm
the
a
area.
backpacker.
And I love that. I love that. But I haven't got that
Adventurous.
yeah, you're very adventurous. And I'm not at that level yet. Whereas cruising is a great opportunity for me because I know I could either go and explore myself, or I can go as part of the organised ship tour.
Yeah.
And obviously you pay a bit more premium with that. But then, you're with a group of people. You're going to explore. It's a guided tour, and after a couple of hours, I'm back on ship. Yeah. So things like that, I feel really safe as a solo traveller. Other people are more adventurous and will just say, no, I don't want to do an organised tour. I'm just going to explore myself, and that's fine. But that's how I like to explore the area or the country that I'm in is with organised tours. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you. Um, you know, I want to ask you that question, like what inspired your weight loss journey? Because I've heard, I've seen dietitian, many people, along my adult life. And I've always heard, unless you have that déclic, I don't know, that's a French word, but there's something at some point. People would have been trying for 10 years, failing. And then one day something happened that make a shift in the brain and they follow through with it. Do you think that there was something specific that inspired your weight loss journey?
So yeah, it was, and I'm not being dramatic here, but I was literally at death's door.
You were?
I was at death's door. I was really seriously ill.
Oh,
And I suffer with my heart and my lungs. I suffer with a condition called lupus,
oh,
and
yeah.
I have other health conditions as well. And I was really poorly. And I was at the stage where my doctor said to me, well, I ended up in hospital. I was really bad, and they said to me, if I hadn't have been admitted within a week or two, I'd have had a massive heart attack and I'd have been dead.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how poorly I was. And I had a young son, he was 10 at the time. And I was like a single parent. And I was like, just the thought of leaving him, it wasn't going to happen. Wasn't going to happen. So I had to get myself well. And I was on years and years and years. I mean, I'm still on medication, but I was on years and years of medication, and that medication made me gain a lot of weight. I was on steroids, so I was always big. You said you were plus size as an adult. I was plus size the minute I came out of the womb, and
Oh,
I've remained plus size. You know, it's always been difficult for me to shift that. Um, so uh, then I got to the point, it was Christmas. I'll always remember, it's just ingrained in me. It was Christmas 2018, and me and my son were sitting enjoying Christmas, indulging all the food, yeah, having that midnight feast, having all the snacks, and just sitting watching movie after movie after movie for hours, drinking alcohol, really doing the works. And at the end of the night, I couldn't get out of the sofa.
wow.
I couldn't, I was so heavy. I was in so much pain and I was so swollen, I could not get out of the sofa. And my son, bless him, he literally had to brace himself and hold my hand and he had to haul me out of the sofa. And in that moment, I was like, I cannot have my son become my carer because that was the route it was going to go down. And in that moment, I was like, right, that's it. I'm going to do something about it. And on the 8th of January 2019, when Weight Watchers reopened, I went back to Weight Watchers for like the sixth or seventh time. I went back and I was like, I have to lose this weight, otherwise, you know, that's going to be the end of me. And I'm not being dramatic when I say that because I was really, really ill. And I went on that journey with the whole, slimming club, slimming industry, going up and down, losing a bit, and I've done really well up until lockdown, and then lockdown came, and then the weight just came. Well, not all of it, but some of the weight came back. And so, like, you were saying that something just shifted in my mind. It just, that switch went on. And I just thought, this isn't working for me because what the program was teaching me was that I cannot successfully lose weight unless I'm tracking points. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
I can't be successful unless I'm tracking things or calories or macros. And I'm very much a thinker, and I just thought, you know what? No, that doesn't work for me. So I went on this whole journey and I did a course in nutrition because I really believe that it's the food that we eat that was making me sick. Yeah, it was all the ultra processed foods. And I started changing what I was eating. And as I started changing it and moving my body, sleeping and all of that, um, yeah, and then managing my portions as well. I would look at my plate, and there was enough food there to feed an army. Well, not quite, but 2 people. There was enough
yeah,
people for 2 or 3 people, and I started thinking about that and thinking, my grandmother, she was so slim, but that was because she didn't have much food. Um, being poor in the Caribbean, my mother had 10 children and
wow.
was a size 23-inch waist. But then when she came to the UK and started eating the processed foods that presented as food to us, she started to gain the weight, and she really struggled to eat it, to lose it. And I looked at that and I thought, it's it's the food that we're eating. So that took me on this journey of like really understanding food. And as I did a course in nutrition and started to eat and fuel my body. And I just started to see the weight coming off. And other than, you know, maybe, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 small weight gains because I'm inflamed, I carry a lot of inflammation. I've not gained weight. I've
Oh,
not gained it. Yeah, and it's not gone back on.
well done. Yeah. What you just shared about your mom when she came to the UK. I've noticed that whenever I go to Africa and I spend 3 weeks, 1 month, etc., the weight just fall off. I'm not trying to lose weight. The weight, because we eat differently. Like it's fresh produce. Everybody has like a garden, like a small plantation on the front of the house with like fresh food. And what I've noticed with people in Africa is they don't do breakfast the way we do. Like we're gonna go with croissant. I'm a French. Croissant, baguette, butter, whatever. They don't. Often they don't even eat in the morning. They usually have one main meal in the evening. So what we call intermittent fasting. A lot of
Yeah,
people do that naturally, you know.
yeah,
But in the West we live to eat. Everything is happen around food. So well done on your journey. Honestly,
thank
we have
you.
more question, guys. I'm coming to your question. I see them. I just want to bring another question here. I wanted to know if travel, because you are a weight loss coach, and we need to come to that in a moment. Did travel played any role into your weight loss journey, lifestyle change? I will tell you because I'm planning a sabbatical. I'm going for 1 year, and I know last year I traveled as a backpacker with youngster guys. I was sweating behind these young people trying to walk with them. It was hard, you know and I want to be fit to travel. That's one of my inspiration. Also being healthy for my kids. I don't want my kid to look after me. And if I carry on that way, that's what you were saying,
Yeah.
I'll end up there as well. Did travel played any role to make you want to, because you want to, it limits you when you that big
Yeah,
of what you
yeah,
can do. Yeah.
absolutely. So, I totally hear you about the walking and, rocking up in these beautiful exotic places, and staying on the coach and not being able to join the tour because my legs were so swollen. My back was hurting, my thighs were rubbing together and I was sore and just being really uncomfortable.
Goes
And I
through
was
it.
like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is not the experience I want." But one of the most embarrassing things was being on a plane and
Mm,
needing a seatbelt extension. Oh my days. And I'm looking around and I'm the only one asking for a seatbelt extension and literally being wedged into this seat. And I was just like, just mortified. And I was like, Angela, no, it can't happen. It can't happen. It was just so, and then going through turnstiles and everything and saying, "Oh, it's my bag stuck." No, it wasn't. It was my bum was stuck, and it just
yeah.
things like that. I just think, no, I
Yeah.
don't want to live like this anymore. I want to be able to, walk up Machu Picchu in the Andes in South America. I want to be able to, do the Grand Canyon and, I want to be able to hike mountains and to be able to do that and be really comfortable. I want to be able to do that, and not let my weight and my health hold me back because, yeah, that's just not what I want.
Yeah, I'm going to share something that I don't know if I ever shared it, but One time I was at one of my maximum weight. Angela, it was at the beginning, it was a long time ago, maybe over 10 years ago. And I couldn't close the belt in the plane. And I was so ashamed to ask for a belt that I flew without a belt. I pretended that it was. I put my clothes over, and so they could see that
Yeah.
belted, but I was not belted. And I took the risk to fly all the way without having a seat belt on, which is crazy. It's, but I was so ashamed.
Yeah.
And since then, something happened, and I'm just like, it is what it is. And now I'm not afraid to ask for the belt, you know. And in some airline, you have these uh, people they know, they will volunteer it to you, and they will be very discreet at giving it to you. But to be honest, these days I don't mind. Like, okay, please, can I have a belt? And you see me, I need a belt. But it is not an experience that I want to have, and I'm battling very very hard to not have to go through, or some seat you so squash into it. Yeah, I always pay extra, either travel business when I can, or I take the seat on the aisle because I cannot sit in the middle. Impossible.
Mm.
And those are limitations that can really hinder your travel experience, because travel experience starts from going on the plane or whatever. So yeah, thank you for sharing that, Angela. Right, so Tiffany has a message here. Oh, I love the water, and some cruises have multiple pools, and
Yeah.
swimming is easier on the larger bodies. Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm, mm, mm.
Would you say all cruises have? No. The cruises that you've been, they all had a pool?
I would say most cruises, if not all cruises, like the luxury cruises, all have pools.
Are
Yeah,
they
it's
warm?
a thing.
Are they like heated
Um,
pool?
but, uh, it depends. Some of them have indoor pools
Yeah.
that I've been in, and they're gorgeous. Those are usually like in the spa area. And then lots of them will have outdoor pools, which some are heated, some are not. And well, if you're in the Caribbean, then you don't want it heated. You want it nice and cool to cool down.
Yeah.
And then they'll always have like jacuzzis and spas and things like that. But also on a lot of them, they do like on cruise ships like Carnival, they because that's like it's called the fun ship. That's their motto. So
Yeah.
when they do pool activities, so you'll have like the entertainment team either playing games or doing aquarobics or doing fun activities. So you're in the pool and you're moving and you're exercising at the same time. So that can be a lot of fun. Yeah, get you
Yeah.
moving a little bit. Yeah,
Exactly. Let me quickly say hi to some friends that arrived. Hey, Dawn. Nice to see you here. Hey, Joe. So, all of these ladies are YouTubers. And so, feel free to go check out Angela's channel. She has a lot to, offer about weight loss. And we're going to come back to Manjaro in a minute, Angela.
yeah.
So, Tiffany has a question here. Is that a question or just a message? Let me check. I love to swim, and some cruises have multiple. Okay, we went through this one. No, cruises, multiple pool. We can see larger
Yeah.
body. Hopefully, not many kids around though. I, is there a lot of kids in those?
Depends which cruise you go on. Yes, like ships like Carnival, they cater for families, so you know you're going to get millions of kids. If you go on Disney, that's obviously kids. But if you go on something like Cunard's, like the QE, or yeah, the QE2, they tend to be more. They're kind of like you know, more for like adults. So yeah, you have to choose your cruise. Yeah,
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 yeah. No, I'd like to have adult cruises. I love kids, but uh, or not on my first cruise. Okay, Dr. Maya say, I am so sorry to hear about your experience on the plane. They are not accommodating at all when it comes to giving people another belt. I am glad you overcome it. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's a hard one, but you learn to accept that it is what it is. It is a if you don't like the way things are, you just have to change it. And I'm working through it because people, anyway, yeah. So, but yeah, since then I even have a belt now, an extension. Oh, Joe's saying that actually. My partner bought one of those seatbelt extension of his own, so he didn't need to ask for one.
Yeah,
But recently he lost weight and not needed the extension this time made him so happy.
yeah,
That is great.
brilliant.
Joe, I have an extension belt that I bought in Air France. Depending on the airline that you go to, some would not allow you to use it for health and safety. They want to use their own, they want to give you their own extension. But I do have one and I often travel with it. There's time where there's some planes where I don't need it, but some plane, yeah, when I need it, I will use it and or ask for one. Now, honestly, I don't mind asking for one anymore. Uh, don't say, is weight loss permanent after Manjaro or do you have to stay on it? So, Don, that's a great question, and it's a great segment to arrive to Manjaro. But before we answer to that, Angela, I think you need to tell us what's Manjaro because some people may not know what it is, please.
Yeah. So what Manjaro is what is commonly known now as the weight loss injection. So it was developed, from what I understand, as a treatment for type 2 diabetes, and I'm type 2 diabetic. And I think you are as well, like you,
Yes, I
Jazz.
am.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it was developed as treatment for it the same way that tablets like metformin
Yeah,
is standard for type 2 diabetics. Um, so as it was being developed, they realised that one of the side effects of Manjaro was weight loss, and then they tested it on non-diabetics as well, and people were seeing weight loss. So it's quickly become known as the weight loss medication, and it's very similar to Ozempic, Wegovy, Zepbound,
yeah,
all of these. So it's a GLP-1 medication. So what that means is it works on the hormones, the GLP-1 receptor hormones, and it quietens that hormonal noise so you don't feel hungry. Because, as someone who's been plus size all my life, I could eat and then still feel hungry after that. And for some people, they just don't have that trigger in their brain that says, I'm full, and they can continue eating. So what the GLP-1 medication does, it quietens that noise. It doesn't take it away completely, but it reduces it quite drastically. So you don't feel hungry. So because you're not feeling hungry, you're not eating. And if you're not eating and this is really important, if you're not eating and you're consuming less calories, then you're going to lose weight. And I'm stressing that because you could not feel hungry. And then when you go to eat, you could be consuming a lot of calories, either food or drinks. It could be one meal a day, but it's high calorie. You're not going to lose weight. So you still have to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight. So yeah,
I have one question. Sorry, Don, and then we come to yours. Um, so you say it quiets the hunger, so you're not feeling hungry. Does it quiet the food, so the food talk? Because people that have eating disorder or who are usually morbidly overweight would eat whether they're hungry or not. They would eat
mm,
out of boredom, out of emotional, something is bothering them. They would go eat, whether that's why they eat even if they're not hungry. So, do you feel that Manjaro will actually quiet the talks around food?
yeah. So to be able to get Manjaro from a reputable, and I'm stressing reputable source, people have to be assessed. So I get mine through my GP. And from what I understand, people who buy privately have to have medical assessments before it's given to them, before they can buy it, which is really good because if somebody has an eating disorder, they should not be on it. And I
Okay.
don't think a medical professional would allow them to be on it. So there is some safeguards in place. Um, because you don't want to compound a problem. But assuming that somebody doesn't have an eating disorder or there's no, you know, risk to them, say somebody with who's pregnant, for example, who's got certain health conditions, wouldn't be allowed to be on it. There was those, safeguards. But assuming that's, and I'm not speaking as a medical professional, I want to just stress that.
Yeah.
But assuming that, then it is designed to quiet, as you say, the food knows the food talk. So, it's easy to be always thinking about food.
Yeah.
So the idea is that it quietens that. As a coach in the community, what I'm hearing is that some people don't get that. They don't get that.
Well, they don't
They,
get the
the
cancellation of.
quietness. They
Okay.
don't get the quietness. They don't get that because everybody's different. So
Yeah.
some people. So when I started Manjaro, because as I not because I needed the weight loss because I by that time I think I've lost nearly 140 pounds, 10 stone. It was because I was type 2 diabetic and my diabetes wasn't well controlled. Um, so when I started on it, everybody starts on 2.5 milligrams, and that is it's a shot, it's an injection. So you inject either in your tummy, the back of your arms, or in your thigh, and it's a once a week injection. So when I started on it, straight away I could feel suppressed. We call it suppression. Wasn't feeling hungry. Literally had to say, come on, Angela, you need to eat something today, not for food's sake, but to fuel my body
Yeah.
and for the nutrition. Um, so, and then I started to see, some really good weight loss results. And then after that, you can, if it's right for you, move up to 5 milligrams. And then it's 7.5, 10 milligrams, 12.5, and 15 milligrams is the highest level. Just because you're on the higher level doesn't mean you're going to get any more weight loss because,
Right.
as you rightly said right at the start, Jazz, it's a tool and
Yeah.
you still have to work with it.
Yeah.
And, some people that I'm working with are saying that they're on like 7.5 or 10 and they're not losing weight, um, or they're not getting the suppression. And there could be a number of reasons for that. Hence why I've started doing the videos about protein because we need a
Right.
protein. We need protein just for our bodies in general, just for good health. We need protein.
And
But
as
if
we aging as well, it's
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Our bodies need amino acids, and there's 9 amino acids that our bodies cannot make. We have to get that from food, and we have to get that from protein. So yeah, and it helps with the hormones and regulating, all sorts of things like building muscles. It's good. So, if somebody says, I can't, I'm on Manjaro or Zepbound or Ozempic, whatever, and they've got that food suppression. But when it comes to eating, they're eating highly processed foods, refined carbs, etc., and they're not eating the protein. That's
They're
not
not
good.
going to those food.
It's
So
not
we're
good.
gonna go to the
It's not good.
questions. So is asking, is weight loss permanent after Manjaro, or do you have to stay on it?
So really good point there, and there's two parts to that. Um, um, Nothing is permanent, whether it's a weight loss injection. I've got clients, I've got family members who's had weight loss surgery. They've had 85% of their stomach taken away, and they lost weight, and they've gained it all back. Yeah, it's not permanent. And the same with the injection, it's not permanent. It is a tool. It is a tool, and you have to work with it. You have to work with it. You've got to eat right. You've got to do all the right things. You've got to work with it. Otherwise, and we're seeing people coming off Manjaro and gaining the weight back because they've not got healthy habits in place.
They haven't done the
Yeah,
work, and you
they
rely
haven't done the
solely
work.
on the pill as a magic pill. But it's
Absolutely.
not. You still have to do the work.
And then the second part of that is um, for some people, and everybody will be different, some people anticipate staying on it for a long time. But for me personally, I'm anticipating coming off that. Once my type 2 diabetes is in check and I've got it back to where it needs to be, I anticipate coming back. And somebody asked me the other day, in fact, one of my clients asked me this the other day, and I did a video about it last week, and they asked me um, if I'm coming off it and am I worried about gaining the weight back? And I said, absolutely no. I will come off it, but I'm absolutely not worried about putting the weight back because I've got healthy habits in place.
Yeah, I watched that video. Uh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's those healthy habits that made me lose 160 pounds.
before
Healthy
Manjaro.
habits. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. Okay, let's go to the next question. Dr. Maya say, Charles, when you plan to go on your first cruise, where do you want to go? Oh, girl, I want to go to the Caribbean. Never been to the Caribbean. I want to go to Barbados. I want to go to Martinique. Is that the years old? Guys, my geography is very bad. There's some of the Caribbean that's near Madagascar. Yeah, but I want to go to so many places. But Barbados, I have it in mind. I know a lot of people that have been in Barbados, and so that's one of the places that I want to go. The Caribbean. So yes, wherever in the Caribbean, I want to go in the Caribbean, and I'm planning for my birthday in June, and so I'm flying to the US. Then I need to go to Orlando, and because it's easier than going through the UK. It's be too long and too expensive to do that way. So yeah, thank you.
I was watching your live last week with your lady who's in Barbados, and I was like,
Yeah,
oh, I've got to go to
yeah.
Barbados.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it sounds an amazing place. I do want to go to Barbados. It sounds like an amazing place to be. Um, so great point about eating when you are not hungry. I sometimes eat to make myself feel better when I'm sad. Exactly, I will eat food for comfort. I realize I should use other way to cope. Absolutely, same here. I would
yeah,
eat for comfort. I try to not keep anything at home, like ice cream, like a lot of these things. I try to not keep all of this and really make sure that I call a friend or I do something else to distract my mind and not eating. Those are those good habits, isn't it, Coach Angela, that we need to.
absolutely. And being on a cruise, it is paradise for that, for eating when you're not hungry.
Yes,
It's
yes,
paradise. So it takes that discipline and putting those healthy habits in place to
yeah,
sort of, but do you know what, Jazz? I would say when you have your first cruise, don't worry about the weight. Just go and enjoy it and indulge in the experience.
yeah,
Really, really enjoy it. You deserve it. And then after that, you'll be able to reflect and say, well, maybe I can do this differently next time, or, but your first
yeah.
time, don't worry about that. Go and eat all the food and go and enjoy it. and then reflect and just make those changes after that.
Okay. Okay. Tiffany is saying you mentioned processed food and nutrition. Are there food that you will never eat again? That's a good, yeah.
It is a
That's
good
a
question.
good question. Yeah.
No, no, there's nothing that I won't eat. So my friend come over the other day. Well, in fact, last night I was out with my friend and we ordered fish and chips. And
Yeah.
I was like, I'm having it. I don't eat fish and chips every day. It's ages since I've eaten it. I'm gonna have it. But what I do, because I'm a mindful eater, and there's whole techniques around that. Is as soon as my food came, I asked for a container to take out, and I cut it in like two-thirds, and I put half in the container to take home, and then I just sat and enjoyed my fish and chips and my batter and all the rest of it. So there's nothing, I have chocolate. I have chocolate in my fridge that's been sat there for ages, and it's there because if I want some, I'll have it. I'll have the biscuits and I'll have the crisps, but that is like 15% of my diet of my meals. It's not, whereas before it was like 85% of what I
Yeah.
ate. So it's just getting the balance right. And
Yeah.
that takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. So we have to be gentle with ourselves. It happens overnight. The other day, I did on one of my haul videos and I said I bought the biscuits for the kids, for my grandkids. The grandkids ate some of the biscuits, you know, because me and my friend, we sat and we ate them. And I'm like, "Do you know what? I'm fine. Forgive myself. It's not the end of the world. I enjoyed them. We were sat in drinking tea and enjoying biscuits, and that's fine, you know. Um, just forgive myself and move on. So yeah, there's nothing that I won't eat if I like it.
That's what I've been watching your videos, and Angela's doing a lot of hauls at the moment, how to, anyway, a lot of hauls around eating protein and eating well. And I was surprised what was on your food haul. And I was pleasantly surprised because you're not restricting yourself at all. You're eating everything. I was like, you're eating this, you're eating that. You lost 160, but you don't. I think it takes time, as you say, because I can't see myself like having uh, chocolate, ice cream, cakes in the house, and they'd be calling my name all the time. Like I don't keep any of that in the house at all, because I know that I have not done that work yet. Uh, you know, I've done it before, but it's gone. I need to go back into the process of doing that work where, you know, it's there for when you need it. You don't have to eat it all or obsess about it. So yeah, there's a lot of question coming for you, Angela. Do you think age and menopause can play a role in slowing weight loss? That's
Yeah,
that's another, yeah,
really, really good
good
question.
question.
Menopause is about hormones. Yeah, everything in our bodies is hormone related. We are a walking mass of hormones, and it's about how we regulate those hormones and what we do to support those hormones. And there's the one thing, if you think about the menopause market, it's like, buy these supplements, they're good for hormones, your ashwagandha and this and that, buy this cream, buy this and that. All of this is no. Look at what we're eating. Look
So,
at what we eat.
Angela, are you bursting my bubble here? Are you saying that when you are through perimenopause and menopause, it's not harder than you were in your 30s to lose weight? Because our metabolism is a little bit slower. Are there just excuses?
So,
Oh,
so again, it comes back to your hormones. Everybody's hormones will do different things, and I'm not, don't underestimate. not trying to undermine that it can be harder. But if we think about it, when we're in our 30s, in our 20s, we're full of energy, we're running around. You know, when I was in my 20s, I could, you know, on a Saturday morning, go shopping, do a full shop, put it away, clean the house from top to bottom, and then go clubbing all night, right? And now I struggle to get out of bed and clean the bathroom. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because as we age, we get slower. So therefore, our hormones are going to be impacted on that. So when you're in our 20s, when we can just like, we go on a diet and we were losing, a stone in, 2 months, we're a different body. Our bodies are different now that we're in our 40s and our 50s. So we can't compare the two. We can't say, oh, years ago I lost weight really easily. I can't now because of menopause. It could be because of menopause. I'm not saying that, but we're a different body. We've had children. We're older. Things are different. So what I'm saying is hormones can and do play a part in weight loss. Hormones play a part in absolutely everything. Our health, our nails, our energy levels, hormones play a massive part in everything. And that's for men and women as well. Yeah. Not that men have, menopause, but, men as they get older can find it difficult to lose weight. They might carry a lot of weight around their bellies. Again, all of that is hormonal. So it's then saying, let's look at where we're at. Let's go back and look what we're eating. As you're saying, go back to that whole food and let's start from there. Yeah. Get in the sleep. And the sleep is a whole topic when it comes to weight loss because sleep, our hormones is impacted by our sleep. If we're not getting good quality sleep, what happens? We wake up in the morning, hormones are running all over the place. We're craving those carbs. Yeah, we want last night's pizza, we want the sugary cornflakes, we want the toast, we want all of those things because it gives our body that full sense of energy. That's our hormones being imbalanced. So when we do um, eat the right foods and do the right things to balance out our hormones, that is the first step. And then on top of that, once we're eating right, then we can, if it's not making a difference, then we can think about, let me get some medical advice. Am I low in magnesium? Do I need the ashwagandha? Do I need the chromium or the selenium? Do I need all of that? And then build on that and go from there. But there's a term called meno washing. Don't know if anybody's heard of that. It's called meno washing, and it's where the manufacturers has realised that actually, if we can take, you know, a supplement and stick menopause on it,
Yeah.
we can get triple the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just saying, let me just take that step back and let me think about my life, what's happening in my life now compared to when I was in my 20s and 30s. Let me make some adjustments. If I'm not moving as much because, I'm older, can I build in some extra activity? Can I get out in the garden and move more? Can I go out at lunchtime and move a little bit more? Yeah.
Yeah.
So the one thing I will say is that those 6 years that I've lost 160 pounds, all in menopause.
Wow. Yeah, no excuse there. And it's also
Yeah.
maybe readjusting the food because I've seen that when getting older, there's the food that I did not tolerate anymore.
Yeah.
I'm gluten intolerance more than before. Lactose, I haven't had milk for over 15 years. So yeah, so it's also readjusting, the way we eat to the new season we're in. Uh,
Yeah. There's a
yeah,
lot of really, really good stuff out there, such as Dr. Louise Newsom and the Zoe podcast. There's two that I can highly recommend. And again, particularly the Zoe podcast, they focus in on food as medicine. And, they've done a lot of research encouraging us to look at what we're eating. Um, because again, and I say I'm not a medical practitioner, but it starts with our gut and
Yeah.
our gut health.
Yeah.
And if
Absolutely.
we're not eating the right things, it's affecting our gut
Mhm.
hormones, and
Yeah.
then that can have an impact. But in saying that, I don't want to underestimate. A lot of people do find it hard to lose weight in menopause, but it's not impossible.
Yeah. You've
But
proven
yeah,
it. You've proven
yeah,
it. Yeah. Horatio say, good point, doctor. So I too eat when I'm not hungry and sometimes when I'm not really hungry. It's definitely a combination of emotional and boredom eating. Absolutely. Absolutely, Horatio. Yeah, I second that. Dr. Maya said Barbados is so beautiful. I absolutely loved it. So everyone have been to Barbados except me. Country in the
and
Caribbean
me.
are great too. I haven't been anywhere in the Caribbean, guys. I want to go. I want to go. Um, Horatio, it's very difficult restricting sweet food when you have a very sweet tooth. Yep, I know.
So,
You and
so
me,
can I
Horatio.
just can I just say that, and again, I'm not a medical practitioner. That could be hormone imbalance.
Mm,
It
guys, that's
could be a
water.
hormone imbalance.
Just saying.
Yeah.
All right. I haven't
Uh,
thought of that. Yeah.
yeah. Or yeah, and it could be, relate gut. Maybe the gut needs balancing out if we're craving sweet things.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Could be,
Yeah.
worth talking to your doctor about that.
Yeah. Your want for being healthy has to override your desire to eat all the sweet pudding and ice cream,
Yeah.
etc. Completely.
True.
Completely.
True.
Yeah. True, 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 and true. Uh, Dr. Maya say a ratio. And so I'm with you. There is emotional eating and eating to feel better. Yeah. I try to go for a walk instead of
Yeah.
something, or instead something to do something fun to make me happy when I feel emotional. Yeah, that is great, Dr. Maya, because that's something that I also been trying to implement. I should stop saying trying because the brain doesn't understand trying, right? I need to
Absolutely.
do like going for walks, going for, and my favorite thing is to call a friend and chat. And or lose myself into editing a YouTube video. That also keep
Yeah.
me when I'm in that creative mode. You know what I'm talking about. Dr. Maya is
Yeah.
also a YouTuber, by the way. She
Wow.
talks about, she's been everywhere. She's been in many countries in Africa. She's been traveling, and so she's another traveler here. Go check out her channel, by the way. Uh,
Can
so
I just add in? Can I just add in there that sometimes, as a coach working with people and also being on my own journey, I've realised that sometimes it's learnt behaviour. It's learnt behaviour, and I think back to when I was a child, but also with my own children and grandchildren. Is when they're upset, what do? We give them food.
I
When
know.
they've done when they've done something good, let's go out for a meal. And we teach them that behavior that, emotions, let's feed our emotions, good, bad, indifferent, let's feed them with food. And then as adults, it's then trying to unlearn that behavior and say, when I'm feeling emotional, let me go for that walk, let me call a friend, let me get out in the garden, or if you're traveling solo, let me, go and talk to some people or do something
Yeah,
different rather than let me just sneak into the buffet and have some. Do you know what I mean? So it's how do we unlearn that behaviour,
yeah.
um, of filling out that void with our emotions with food.
Absolutely, Angela. That's a great point there. You know, there's something that we're doing with my family that I've asked to implement. My kids are adults, 22, 26. And so when we get together, it's around food, go to a restaurant, etc. So what we've been doing is planning to go either to walk in a park, like the national parks, or going bowling. But you will see that even bowling, there's a food corner now. You know, they bring food everywhere anyway. But do some activity. That's something that's in my family. We want to change, like going on a walks together, you know, but not centering like family reunion, family things just around food. And if we do food, is to maybe make a better choice of, you know, the food we're eating as a family, not ordering pizza, not just eating fried food, but having salad, having
Yeah,
etc. You know, it's as you say, it's unlearning those behavior. Um,
yeah.
so
And I love that. I love what you just said. It's about making a better choice.
yeah,
So even if you do have the food, it's having that better choice.
yeah,
So when I do my cruises or my holidays, for me and for me alone, my better choice is going first and foremost for my protein. So like the chicken or fish or like beans or you know that protein rich food, and then bulking it out with a salad.
yeah,
You know, so I'm still enjoying that, but it's a better choice for me and my body. Yeah. So
absolutely.
I love what you said there. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So I try not to bring unhealthy food in the house. If it is not in the house, I probably won't eat it. That's the way I work as well. However, I have a young adult because they're back home. And so it's what I've done is we all have a cupboard in the kitchen, and everybody has their own cupboard of their special food. There's cupboard for the family food, but everybody have their own cupboard where they keep like their sweets. And I have no business going to open someone else's business cupboard, because if I don't want to have that on site, well, I should not be looking there. So that's how I kind of went around. You know, even if the food is available, if it's not mine, I have no business going into it.
Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. And do you know what? One of the things that you know, I've learned on my journey is how, and again, this taps back into the mindset, is our terminology and how we
Mm,
refer to food. Because, you know, when I'm coaching my clients, and they say things like, you know, unhealthy food, I'd be like, well, what does that mean? What does unhealthy food look like for
mm,
you? Because somebody might say, you know, or chocolate, for example, is unhealthy, okay, but there may be times where that might be a healthy choice for somebody because, you know, of what they're going through. Because I know that if, say, back in the day, yeah, I love crisps. I'm putting it out there. I love crisps.
I love crisps
And
too. Yeah,
that
yeah.
is probably one of
That's
the
a British thing.
unhealthiest
That's
foods. Yeah,
yeah.
very British. It's one of the most unhealthiest foods. But if I say to myself, again, because I'm not perfect and I might be, you know, having that stressful day where I'm really stressed and I think I'm not going to eat crisps because that's unhealthy. And I keep telling myself that. 2 days later, I'm going to munch through 2 packs of 6 packs of crisps. So I'm going to munch through a big bag of 12. In that moment, that is unhealthy. Whereas if I'd have just said, you know, I want the crisp, I'm just going to have a bag of crisps. Do you know what I mean?
I
It's
hear
like with
you.
my shopping haul. Do you
Yeah,
know? And I know you said you was really surprised by the food because I was like,
yeah,
if I want a sausage, bacon, and egg sandwich, I'm going to have it because to me, in that moment, it's not how unhealthy. But the mindset is, if I say I'm never going to have it again, I'm just going to have a massive blowout. So it's how do we define unhealthy? What does it mean to us in that moment, and how do we get that balance right?
Yeah. It's all about the balance and
Yeah,
yeah,
and the terminology
moderation.
and our perspective. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's a
yeah,
whole work to do. Guys, as you know, Angela is a weight loss coach, so feel free to go to her channel. So she can help you out if you're troubling, if you have trouble with your weight. Dr. Maya say, oh, thanks. Yes, my channel is called Fly Like Me PhD. I have been to 45 countries. Will be on this channel on the 19th for tea with Jase. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait, girl, to be here with you. I can't wait. We're gonna have fun. Oh, I can't wait to have you. Hey, Hope. Love seeing your name. Me too. When I like something that is unhealthy, I don't bring it home. I only buy a
yeah,
small size. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Love that.
It is hard when you haven't done that work, that mindset work. And for me, for now, I will do actually what Hope does, buy a smaller size that
Yeah,
can eat now and then and not bring it home until I manage to really do the work. And you said it takes time.
it
It takes
takes time.
time.
What One of the things that I've seen as a coach is what throws people's mindset and they go back and put the weight on is the whole concept of restriction
Yeah,
and saying, I can't have this and I can never have it. And I love what Hope has said, just buy a smaller size. Yeah,
yeah,
just buy the one bag of crisps, and because you know that that's going to satisfy the need
yeah,
rather than telling ourselves we can't have it and then we end up having a massive blowout, you know.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, yeah, just manage those emotions and those portions. Key to success, to long-term success. Yeah, I mean, I would not have lost my weight if I said to myself, I'm never going to have a rum and coke ever again, or
A
if I
what?
wasn't going to rum and coke. I love me rum and coke. If I wasn't going to have, a whiskey, or if I wasn't going to have, a piece of chocolate or a bag of crisps, I would never have got to where I am
Yeah.
if I'd said never. No, it's not sustainable.
That's great.
Yeah.
That is great. And it's a healthier way to lose weight. Food is a culture. So many people
Mm,
bond around food, especially
yeah.
families during holidays, but we can bond in other ways.
Yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And even if you're bonding around food, because we have to eat, it's about making, as you said, Jazz, the best choice,
Yeah.
making those choices,
Yeah.
and managing the portions, but also not feeling guilty
Yeah.
about your choice, and just
Absolutely.
say, you know what, this is just one meal. It's
Yeah.
one meal, and I'm going to enjoy it with my family, with my friends, and then tomorrow or the next meal, it's a different choice.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I'm gonna go to the next question. For me, art is a great conduct for my emotion. Yeah, and Tiffany is a great artist.
Wow.
She does a lot of
Love
great
that.
things like designing a house curtains and stuff. She does amazing stuff. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's to really find what works for you, isn't it, Angela?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And we're all different. We're all different. But think about it. When I stopped thinking about my weight loss journey as I'm on it and I'm off it,
Yeah.
I was just like that changed everything for me because every day I'm living my best life and making the best choice. So there is no on and off for me. Also, there is no healthy or unhealthy. I eat as much whole foods as I can. But you've seen in my hauls, I will still have me toffees and my chocolate and my sweets and my fizzy pop and all of that. But once in a while.
Angela, you just said something that's like, like Oprah says, a haha moment. When you say there's no on and off. This is so important. It may sound small and insignificant. It's huge because when we are on that journey of losing weight, the mindset often goes like it's a temporary thing that we're going through. Once we have lost all our weight, then party,
Mm.
we're back to. And it's important to go through that weight loss journey thinking that's a lifestyle we are building. Because there's not that I'm on a diet, on my weight loss journey, and I'm off it. No, that should be the way we are going to eat forever. Right? But
Absolutely.
yeah, I
Yeah,
love
love
that.
that. I mean, I always say my lifestyle is I wake up in the morning, I pick up my phone, yeah, I thank the Lord, I go and brush my teeth, I go and have my bath, get dressed, and I go about my day. That's my lifestyle. There's never a day where I think, oh, I'm not going to brush my teeth today, or I'm not going to get dressed today. Yeah, there's never a day because that's my lifestyle. And therefore, with my weight loss journey, my lifestyle is I'm getting up and I'm going to make the best choices today. I'm going to eat food. I'm going to move my body. I'm going to drink my water. I'm going to, feed my mind with good and wholesome things. That's my lifestyle. There is no, oh, I'm not going to eat healthily today, or I'm not going to, you know, make the best choice for my body today. Yeah,
Wow.
it's
Okay.
a lifestyle that
Yeah.
I do every day that I don't even think about it. And the minute we start thinking, I'm on it or off it, you're on a diet. And as we said at the top, diets don't work.
Wow. I love that. And when you were talking about that is your lifestyle, if I was asking myself when you were talking, what is my lifestyle? And, I need some time to write it down because it's something that is, I don't know. It's not, I feel like when you were talking, something that's in your forefront, like that you have your lifetime and tell that you eat healthy, you brush your teeth, you get washed, you do that. You have these action that you do daily. That's part of your lifestyle. Um, yeah. And when it comes to eating, is something that I need to ask myself. And thank you. You're actually coaching me as we're going.
And thank you. And do you know what? And build it up really slowly. It might be that you start building into your lifestyle just a 10-minute walk every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just or 5 minute when you get up, just stretching for 5 minutes, and you build that bit by bit by bit by bit. And then, you start with 5 minute stretches, then you do a 10-minute lunchtime walk, and then you make sure that you have some greens throughout your day, and you just build that in over time. And then that becomes your lifestyle.
I love that. Do you think that is something that we need to keep like plan? Like I've planned that interview with you today, and you did too. Do you think that these lifestyle choices that we need to implement to have a better life, uh, would be a healthier life, would be to plan that at lunchtime I'm gonna walk. So that's a commitment.
Yeah. It needs to be conscious choices,
Yeah, yeah,
choices that we choose, and then over time it just becomes like, when I get up in the morning and I brush my teeth and I have my bath, I don't think about it. I just do it automatically now.
yeah,
Been doing it for 58 years.
yeah,
I don't think about it.
yeah.
You just do it, and how many things do we just do? Like when we get in the car and before we know it, we're down the road and we think, how did I get here? We just do it automatically. And it's about finding those habits that we can just build in and do automatically. Yeah, do automatically. 5 minute
Excellent.
stretch, a 10-minute walk. Yeah, doing some meditation, some deep breathing, before we go to bed, build it in. steady.
Excellent. Horacio says, my mother used to say to me, a little of what you fancy does you the world of
Absolutely.
good. Please translate that to me. I'm like that's my French
Yes,
brain reading.
yes, yes. A little of what you fancy does you a world of good. So what that means is if you have a little bit of what you like, if you have that bag of crisps or that, alcoholic drink or that bit of chocolate, it ain't gonna hurt you.
Oh,
Just a
okay.
little, just have a little bit. If you want it, it's fine. Yeah,
That is
it does you good
excellent.
because it supports your mindset. It supports that healthy mindset that we're not being restricted. But the minute you say, I'm not going to have it, or somebody says you can't have it, we want it. Yeah,
Yeah.
so just a little bit. So have you asked? That's what I said to you, Joe. When you go on your cruise, just have it, enjoy the food, enjoy the experience, and
Okay.
then after that, you can say, what? How could I do my next cruise differently?
E-
Yeah,
Exactly. I could talk to you all day. I had many questions, but we actually, you guys have been amazing with the questions. So I had so many questions that I didn't even go through because you guys had this question, asked instead of, me putting them on the screen. As we closing, because I'm conscious of time and I know we're all busy on this Sunday, what small habit makes a big difference when maintaining weight on vacation? If you had some little tips now, if you have some little tips that you can give us before
yeah,
we,
yeah. So my first tip is, um, first and foremost, enjoy your holiday. Enjoy your holiday. And I know you're going on your sabbatical. Yeah.
yeah,
Um, First and foremost, plan to enjoy that. You've worked really hard for your sabbatical, for your holiday, thoroughly enjoyed. You've got to enjoy it. And then second tip, like you said, I couldn't have said it any better, Jazz, when you said make the best choice possible. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
You know, and within that, I would say, when it comes to food, protein first, always protein first. What protein does, it gives us that feeling of satiety, so we feel fuller for longer. So get a nice big piece of protein, and the leaner the better, whether it be tofu or mixed bean salad, whether it be chicken or fish, a nice big piece of lean protein, and then bulk that out with whatever you want, whether it be the vegetables, the salad, the chips, whatever it is, but get that protein in there first. And then, get your water in. When you're on holiday, you've got to stay hydrated and move your body as well. Yeah, and sleep well. So
yeah,
those are the keys that I would say. Those are my top tips. Um, when you're on your holiday. But when it comes to maintaining your weight, if you're thinking, I don't really want to come back and put the weight on, then just do those things, but at a level deeper. If you're on that cruise, you know, do a couple of laps, commit to doing 15-20 minute walk every day, twice a day, you know. Um, make sure you're drinking water, and if you have that alcohol, just have a little bit. You don't have to have everything on the menu, but maybe just say, okay, I'm just going to have one. Yeah. Um and when you're having your meals, again, make sure you choose that protein based meal first. Yeah.
yeah. Being a budget traveler means that you don't buy alcohol, which is a good thing. You're saving on your wallet, and also you're not putting free, kilos or pound on, because alcohol is something that is sneaky, is
Yeah,
free calorie with no nutrient at all.
nutrients, yeah.
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 So, Angela, it was such an amazing time and such a pleasure to have you. I'm stopping because of the time, and I know that I've got I could talk to
Oh
you
my goodness.
forever. And please, can you tell our audience what do we find? I know you said that at the beginning. I think it's important to say what we find on your channel, because Angela has an amazing channel and she posts a lot on there, a lot of things about weight loss, Manjaro, if you want to learn more about losing weight. And she's very technical, because I see your little chart, and you've been like, with since the beginning when you lost weight. I'm like, how do you do that? You keep track of all of that. She shared the best food, etc. There's so much on her channel, and also as a weight loss coach. And what I love with you being a weight loss coach is that you know where I am right now. You've been there.
Yeah,
I'm sorry for for you guys watching, is going to a dietitian or a weight loss coach that is a size zero, that has no idea about the trouble and the struggle of being weight loss. I rather go to somebody that know exactly where I'm sitting, who has been in my shoes and has managed to lose the weight. She can walk me through that path, to that journey, because she knows. So anyway, stop talking. Can you tell us more about you? Where can we find
oh,
you,
thank
etc.?
you. Thank you. So my channel is called Time Out with Angela. And on my channel, it's all about the 50 plus man and woman. So that's who I'm targeting. And it's all about that that lifestyle that is affordable and on a budget. Yeah. So whether it be shopping hauls, fashion try-ons, grocery shopping, I'm doing a bit of gardening now to get me moving, to get me fit, weight loss, and my uh, my travel as well. I've got a couple of travel videos on, but it's all about, frugal living, because, those pennies have got to stretch. So
I know.
frugal living, traveling on the budget, weight loss, affordable fashion, yeah, and just living a stylish, fulfilled, healthy life. Yeah, that's what I'm all about, and we like to have a little bit of fun. I've got 5 cats as well, and they always try and make an appearance as well.
Wow, no one came and disturbed you. I love cats. No one came
Oh,
and
they're
say hi.
outside.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
they
okay.
come outside because they're very noisy. Yeah.
Yeah. So if somebody want to work with you as a coach, um, as a coach, well, I mean, want to work with you, what should they do?
So they can direct message me either on Instagram or Facebook.
Okay.
It's Time Out with Angela is my handle on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
Oh, easy.
But
Yeah.
also, yeah, it's
Yeah.
easy. Or uh, uh, on my YouTube page, there is my email address, which is jcacademy@live.co.uk. So just, people can get in touch with me, even if they just want more information.
Okay.
But yeah, yeah,
Excellent. Let me pop that email address here if you don't mind. So if
yeah,
somebody want to copy it, it's in the how do you call it? It's in the the
chat.
chat now. And yeah, so Angela, thanks ever so much for your time. I hope you would want to come again on the
Of course,
channel,
of
please.
course, I've loved it. I've loved
Yeah.
it. And as I said, I watch you and I watch your lives and your channel because I just find you such an inspiration. And
Thank
I
you
said to
so
this to you
much.
the other way, is that because of you, I'm now thinking of planning at least a month sabbatical where I'm traveling, and
Yeah.
I plan to travel for my 60th, where I'm just gonna just push the boat out and just grab
Yeah.
life by its horns and just do it. And that's because of you. Yeah, so thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Life is short. Horacio, it was such a pleasure to have you. Did you subscribe, friend? Did you subscribe to the channel? And is Horacio one of your community
Yeah,
members? Yeah,
he is.
yeah.
Tony as well and Karen. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's so nice. Thank you guys for coming and say hi here. We all friend, we are all family here. And yeah, so until next time, we stay in touch. And for me, life is short. Thank you, Oresho. Thank you. Oh, thank you, friend. Thank you so much. Uh, Life is short. For me, it's like we need to live today. Often we planning for tomorrow. Tomorrow is not a promise, right? So I've decided I want to live my best life. Doesn't mean I love less my family. I'm there for them as well, but I also need to do things for me. And this is part of my self-care traveling. So I can't wait. Barbados, I'm coming. All right. Anyway, thank you so much. We stay in touch. And I've definitely have you again. If anything else that you want to chat about, we can organize another live. And then, see, we had a lot of friends with us, almost 2 hours. That is rare, and I didn't see the time passing. I don't know for you guys. Well, all of you, Hope, I love Hope. I love Dr. Maya. I love all of you here, all my friend that came, all Angela friend that came. Karen is gone, but anyway, all of you, Dawn, Joe, thanks ever so much for everyone that came and stayed with us. And I need to say goodbye now because I'm gonna talk forever, as I know how to talk. So Angela, enjoy the rest of your
Thank
Sunday.
you.
It was such a pleasure. And anyway, I see you on your channel, and I may need your help to coach me a little
Yeah,
bit about the
of
weight
course.
loss. All right.
Of
Thank you
course.
guys. I
Thanks,
love
my
you
darling.
all, and thank you for being here. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.